Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Dig In with Hannah's Field. This is the show where we pick you up where other food shows leave you off. So, what I'm referring to is my favorite part of a food show is you watch these people create all this delicious food, but you never get to see anybody eat it. Nobody eats it. It's just like, where does it go? We're going to pre-make the food, and then we're going to eat it. We also do it with a dinner guest, so we have a nice conversation. We are so blessed this afternoon to have our good friend Yvonne on. She's from Africa, living in Germany, amazing singer, songwriter, and if you haven't heard the music, we've been trying to pump it up a little bit. Her music is amazing. We're going to talk all about that when she comes on with her. We also were blessed enough to have her sing on the Crystal Vision album on the song Peaceful Days. If you haven't heard that, streaming on every single platform. Go check it out, people. Buy it. The crystal grid is amazing with the crystals and the grid. You know, great Christmas gift, meditation tool, whatever. So I was like racking my brain this morning thinking like, what am I going to make something really interesting, something kind of cool? And then Hannah kind of pops in the kitchen, like, what do you make it? And I'm like, I don't know. She's like, what about some vegan omelets? And I was like, I will make some vegan omelets, no problem. So that was our meal contribution. And actually, through the magic of modern technology, I have them already prepared. Let me just show you what they look like. That light stinks on that, huh? I tell you what, though, they look better than this stupid description of it. Yeah, I make them with a garbanzo bean flour that I make basically like a pancake batter, and whip in some spices, some salt and pepper, and then warm up a pan, fry it just like a pancake, flip it over, and then put everything else I've prepared to put in at that point. Today I have some cauliflower, some baby kale, some caramelized onions and garlic. I roasted it all in the oven. Pretty nice. I put some of my secret spice in there. My favorite smoked paprika. Yeah, it was good. I was almost tempted to make even some tempeh bacon, but some carrot bacon, but I just didn't do it. I figured, hey, this looks like enough. I got some avocado. I got some fresh tomato. So I'm excited for this meal. I'm excited for this conversation. How you guys doing out there? Anybody eat their breakfast yet? Anybody preparing for anything? What are you guys doing out there in the world?
We're going to listen to...
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm going to take a couple seconds, and we're going to play some of Yvonne's music for you guys. Give you a preview. We're going to bring our food, and then you guys will be able to check us all out together. So take a listen to this.
I'm on a journey, trying to reach the other side of the world, on a stage for peace and love. Who would wanna come with me? Please come with me.
Welcome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Dig In. We're so excited. I'm just going to tell you a teeny bit about our guest before we bring her on. Yvonne Mwale, global artist, eclectically versatile. I love that about her music. It's like you listen and it goes so many directions. And she has a brand new album released out that's called Free Soul. That was one of the tracks from that. Just a little preview. I want you to at least hear her voice if you haven't heard it yet, so you know to go and check out her music after we are done with this cool interview. We're going to bring her on. But it goes everywhere from like EDM to jazz to pop to, straight up like amazing African rhythms. And yes, she's performed at so many music festivals. And let's talk about a couple of awards she's had. Best Upcoming Female Artist at the Ngoma Awards in Zambia. The same year, she took home an award at the Crossroads Interregio Festival 2013. She found herself as a finalist at the RFI, and I'm going to mess that word up, so I'm going to just say it was in France. And second place, the World Citizen Artist Awards, which is where we met her in Jamaica. And I'm excited to just kind of talk to her about that journey. So without further ado, let us bring on our guest, Yvonne Mwale. Let's add her in here. Hello, my dear. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Yes, we're feeling super grateful to have you here hanging out. And you are where are you right now?
I'm in the kitchen. I'm in the kitchen right now.
Kitchen. What country are you in?
Yeah, because I love food.
Kitchen are you in?
I love food.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing
I got my
better
food
than
already.
food, right?
Yeah.
Could you tell us what did you make today?
Today it was kind of a little bit spontaneous. I had to make it a little bit more not so complicated. So I just made some pommes. You know what pommes is?
No, tell me.
Some what you call French fries. Some chips. Of course, it's the easiest for today, especially like on a Sunday. That's what I usually make, especially for the kids, because tomorrow they have early school in the morning, and it's not so difficult to prepare. So I just made some chips, and with the lamb, you know.
Beautiful.
They're eating a lamb.
Yeah. Beautiful.
And then of course I'm gonna have to make some salad, because I can't eat food without salad. So I'm gonna make some salad with a bit of avocado, you know, some tomatoes. Yeah.
All about the vegetables, you know, you gotta have those veggies in there.
Yeah, without veggies, of course, it's you can't really be strong. Our bodies need vegetables, you know. We need some green, because green is life, you know. So we need that. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And do you find yourself cooking? Do you cook a lot in the kitchen? Are you like the main chef in your house?
Yeah. I love to cook. I love to cook most of the times, but also sometimes I love to make some African dishes, you know, like fufu. There's what you call like fufu. Unfortunately, today I didn't make it, but I always sometimes make fufu with a bit of cassava. I love cassava. Also, fufu is made out of cassava. Yeah, I love to make some cassava. So what I do basically, I just boil the cassava. Yeah, I boil it, and then after that, then I dip it in the hot, very hot cooking oil. You know, I make some fries. It's really tasty. You know, I add a little bit of salt, and also maybe some spice, like hot spice, and some pepper, you know, things like this. Yeah, it's really tasty. We love cassava in Africa, you know. Yeah.
Sounds really good.
Delicious. That sounds so delicious.
It's really nice to see you guys. Yeah.
So nice to see
you for having me. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes. We're so happy. We talked about this for a while, and we have some beautiful people joining us too. So we just want to give a couple shout outs. Hello, making us hungry over here. Yeah. Oh, Jackie. Yes, beautiful. Aw, good. Give thanks, y'all, for joining in. Stephen Cutler, and we got Jackie B in here. Yeah. Much love, y'all. So beautiful. So let's just start with our story of how we all connected, because I think it's going to lead to just some good things that I would love to learn more about your journey in Jamaica. So we all met on a bus about like a 14 passenger bus, and we were all in Jamaica going from Kingston where you had just performed
Yeah,
at
yeah.
the museum, which is
On
Hope Road, which we'll ask you more about that in a moment. And we were all going over to Portland, which is about 2 hours across the island, kind of in the middle of nowhere. So we were going from the city to disappear into the beaches, right? And that's where we all met. And I just remember you were sitting in the front with Valerie Wonley from World Citizen Artists, who we were just all meeting. And I just remember your energy and your spirit was just like this big, you know? And it was, you were like,
I was making a lot of noises.
yeah, here, let's celebrate. And
Who's got a drum? Pass the drum up.
yeah, pass the drum. We were all jamming.
Yeah.
Queen was there, and we're all making music. So that's just such a beautiful moment in my mind. Can you tell us like what led up to that ride? So you traveled to Jamaica and you won an award for World Citizen Artist. And can you tell us about like, so you got to perform there? Can you just tell us a little story about that?
Okay, first of all, I would like to start from my experience from, of course, from the museum. It was really amazing, you know, coming from the place where we all know that the legend was, you know, like the legend who's known to be as a king of reggae, you know. Of course, now he's not there. May his soul rest in peace. It was really exciting for me. It was like a dream come true because I've always wanted to be in a place where like super legends that we look up to, you know, especially for somebody like Bob Marley, who had such a powerful name, very strong personality, inspired a lot of people. For me, it was like a blessing to be just there, to have this opportunity, you know. So being in Jamaica, the whole journey was like amazing, was like a blessing. We enjoyed, we had our fun there, being on stage, performing for the Jamaican people, and being in the studio where Bob Marley was, you know, creating, making music with the people from there. It was like I felt his energy and his spirit there, you know. It was really awesome. It's like you could feel his energy. Yeah.
You actually got to go to Tough Gong, and you were rehearsing there for the show. Is that? And that's where you rehearsed.
Tough Gong Studio, yes.
Yeah.
It was really a nice experience meeting the musicians also that worked also with him in the studio there. It was they all had the good vibes. I think, you know, the Jamaicans, the way they are, when they see people, you know, like strangers in their country, you know, they're always excited, you know. It's always about love, spreading this positive energy to people, making sure that people they should feel welcome there. So that's the most thing that I loved. And then, of course, coming from the Hope Road there on a journey to Portland, you know, that's where now we happen now to meet in the same bus. We happen to be in the same bus at the same time. It was really amazing because also I didn't expect to see such gorgeous, beautiful people with a lot of positive energy, you know, positive mind. And I saw you, and also you had something very positive. I could feel it, you know. So it was so much easy to meet you guys and just talk to you, and you know, I could hear the music vibe, you know, everything. So somehow we just got connected. It's hard to explain how, but things just happen, you know. It's one of those things where you, like one of those cases where when you happen to go at a certain place where you find good positive people who are, the mindset, it's really positive, everything they have, it's really positive. It also, you are always detecting this kind of people, and it's easy for you guys to connect. We just bonded, you know, soul to soul, like, oh yeah, I love this kind of people, you know. It's not boring, they're just positive, they're just themselves, and it's easy to talk to them, you know. Just jam, just sing, you know, just sing, expressing this love. And for me, it was really good. I felt blessed meeting you guys because I didn't expect to meet people like that, and not coming from far also. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know such people, you know, they still do exist, you know. But you know, it's a small world. And I was so happy to meet you guys. It was a very wonderful experience. On the way, you could sing. I'm like, wow, this voice, it's like you you know, the first impression I had, because when I'm hearing also your voice, it has something very unique. It has something very, very special, very, you know, smooth. And I'm like, wow, I love this voice because it sounds so good. It's speaking to my heart, and you get goosebumps. And I'm like, I love people like this, you know. And also I would do a bit of drumming there. I'm like, oh my God, this is so good. So the whole journey was like very good in a good way. I enjoyed myself, and I think you could see also the rest of the people in the bus, you know. We brought them entertainment, you know. It was something very, very good. Though sometimes, you know, there are other people who don't like to be so much open about, you know, themselves. They're always holding some things inside, like, I'm scared, I'm shy. If I sing, maybe they're gonna look at me like, no, I can't do this here. No, it's not good. People, you know, this kind of negativity thoughts. But if you're just being yourself, being happy, a free spirit, a free soul. For me, that's what I call a free soul, free spirit. Don't care about what other people think or say, but you are able just to do what your mind and what your heart tells you, you know. Just do it as long as it's coming from a place of love, a place of happiness, a place of joy, you know. For me, that's what matters. So it was really, really beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, and that comes across in your music, you know, and that's her new album is called Free Soul, and it really just comes across in your music, because everything that you just said, you expressed that so beautifully through your music. So the song that you performed at Hope Road at Bob Marley Museum, you performed with a group of musicians that you had just met
Exactly.
in Jamaica. I mean, there were obviously some heavy hitters. Was there any like nerves, like getting up to that? Like, I'm assuming you're used to performing that song like with your own band, right? Was it just like super easy? You know, were they all prepared? How did that go?
No, it's always it wasn't that much easy because these are not my musicians.
Yeah.
But I would say it wasn't easy, not in a bad way. It's just a way of getting the song and getting maybe the chords. I know they were super professional musicians, but of course, this is looking at a different musician coming, you know, from Africa. She has a different style of music, and it's always a little bit challenging to play that kind of music if you're not used to, you know. Because for the musicians that we found, there are these musicians who are very beautiful. They play reggae music. So it was kind of challenging for them to understand exactly what I wanted them to play. But on the end, after we had rehearsed, I told them to just play the way they feel. Like, you know, that's why it's always important, I think, when you're communicating, especially when you're meeting with musicians, it's always important most of the times to give them a chance of becoming free. You give them a bit of more freedom, let them express. They listen to the song and feel it. That's the most important thing. Feel the song, feel the message of the song, feel the rhythm. And I want you to show me how you would play this. Now you know the meaning of the song, but I want you to play it from your heart. So if you love reggae, okay, put the groove of reggae, but definitely, of course, I could play also the song just for them to understand how they can. I didn't ask them to play exactly the way it is, but I just told them it's important to get the chords right, but just play them the way, you know, with the way you want, with the way you feel, so that also you are more free to express your feelings. You know, mostly when you express your feelings on what you play, always the sound becomes really, really heavy and very, very good. So it was really good. It was really okay.
So
yeah.
And that song, tell me the name of that song that won the World Citizen Artist second place.
The peaceful song, it's called Kuwingamo. Yes.
And what does that mean?
It's a song that talks about peace, you know, Kuwingamo as in being in, like, you know, the way we are, like on this earth. This earth is like a ball, you know, like a ball, maybe let's say like a pot. We are all in circle. So in order for us not to be able to suffocate, we have to make a clean circle without drowning each other, without trying to drown each other. So basically in the song, I was trying to bring this message of having peace instead of having this energy of violence, shedding too much blood, having this too much hate for one another instead of helping each other, but instead we keep on hating each other, that is not helping the circle. It's breaking us off, it's suffocating us. So in this song specifically, that's the message. I wanted just to spread some love. And because also this project was about maintaining or respecting the legacy of Bob Marley. I think you all know Bob Marley's legacy was to keep peace, peace and love with everybody. He never saw color in people, so that was just something also just to respect his legacy, because also that's what I stand for: peace without war, without hating on each other, without seeing color in humans, but we all have to look at each other as the same, So that's what the song is talking about, And there's a part where I'm expressing how I feel when I look at on the other side of the world. Quite all right, I might be here, of course, I'm having my good life and I'm enjoying, everything is comfortable and so forth. And then I'm going to bed, of course, I have a decent bed, I'm sleeping good, nothing is wrong. But every time I try to think of also other people who are living on the outside, like from different parts of the world, the people having bombs every day, children who are dying from Afghanistan, from where, all these countries where there've been a lot of killings. So for me, I try to always go far. I try to think of my friends, also just, I always pray, and I wish that I had some powers to change some certain things. But the truth is that I'm just a human being. But the only thing I can do is just to stay positive and keep spreading the message, telling people, learn how to use music to bring people together. They have to learn how to live in harmony. They need to learn how to love one another. If we choose to remove the color, if we choose to respect one another and just see one another as human beings. So this is what this song is talking about. It's really deep for me, it's really super, super important. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That is
Really
so
nice.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Good vibes. All right, I got a question for you. So, listening to your album, really for me, it's like, I feel like I'm like in a different place. Like it creates such an atmosphere. There's African music, there's amazing like contemporary like drum productions. It really like, and there's like this like, I don't even know, like this like ambiance about it where you're listening and you're like, whoa, I'm somewhere else. You sing in African, you sing in English. How do you choose what language that song is going to be in? Is it something that comes naturally, like the song just all of a sudden you're like, oh, you start humming something and it comes out, or do you think it maybe in African first and translate it to English for a certain reason? I'm curious about how that kind of goes about happening.
Great, that's a good question. Yes, so basically what I do first, I come up with melodies. So when I come up with the melody, if I hear some melodies playing in my head, I'm always thinking, because also my mind is always sticking to my roots, like where I come from, where I was born from. It's always important because I've always had this root, all the melodies that we have, especially coming from Zambia in Africa, where I grew up from in the eastern province of Zambia. We have our special kinds of sounds that we have as an Nsenga tribe, because I'm also Nsenga. So we have our rhythm, which are very difficult to like count. It's like 1 drop, 2, 3, 1 drop, 2, 3. Even the dance, da, da, da. It's a bit complicated if you try to follow. And this is something that always stays with you as you even grow older. And then later, what I do is to first, if I maintain the melody, since I'm used to these African melodies and so forth, if I come up with a melody and then I'm like, yeah, I think for this song, maybe it's better I keep it in my vernacular language. That's the way that it can, that's the only way it has to come out more authentic, more original. It's always nice to sing in your language because you're not faking it. You just sound so pure, and whatever you sing comes from your heart, the things you feel. So that's the most important part, a thing to do, especially when you're coming from Africa, when you're seeing your own roots, your own origins and stuff like that. But then, of course, after coming here, I decided, or I chose to have a little bit of a mixture. I went like, yeah, then if I can be able to come up with African songs, but then why can't I do like a fusion, Afro fusion? Before it was like this, let's say if I'm making like a African tradition song, then I try maybe to just add up some few maybe English lines here and there, and of course, as you all know, where blues also comes from, some origins of blues, they are also coming from the roots of Africa. So that's the easiest way. I found it so easy to create English lines and try to combine them with the music that I have, so that's how I come up with most of the songs, of course. So of course my English also is a little bit weird. So it's a little bit strange. You really have to pay attention. It's not so good like you guys, though. How can I say this? Yeah, it's English, but sometimes I have also my weird accents. Yes. So sometimes might not be able to understand what I'm trying to say, but I can't change it. I come from Africa anyway. I have my own accent, and I try my best. But in the song, I try always to come up with words that are not so complicated to pronounce, So that's how I made it to like just make a fusion of English and a bit of African. It's very, very much easy for you to do that. And the reason why I chose also to do that, now I'm here, not everybody understands what I sing, so I thought maybe it would be fair if I can just add up some few lines or maybe come up with also English songs also, because this is business. Music is a very challenging business, I have to say. If you wanna go really, really, really far, and also just to excite more people in the world, I'm sure you must you need to be able to come up with something that all of the people in the world, they're understanding what you're singing. But though it's also important just to keep your language, because also at the end of the day, music, it's not about understanding what someone is singing. Here I am, I listen to Spanish music, There's Indian music, there's Chinese. I love Chinese music also, There's different music in different languages. There's Russian music. But sometimes you don't understand what they're singing. You can't understand they're singing just in their language. So what really takes your heart, it's how they're singing and the energy, the song that comes with, So music itself, I had to put it in a place where it's being translated as a language, and there's what I call, I so far, it's a bit strange, sorry, it's crazy, but I had to come up with my own language myself. Mm-hmm. I told myself there's a music I want to do. As artists, sometimes you want to compose a song, you want to come up with something. It's not so easy to come up with words. You're out of words. You're running out of words, It happens most of the time. Of course, I write songs. I have maybe 400 or 500 songs, I haven't recorded it, but every single day I have to write. But sometimes it happens when I'm just stuck in my mind. I'm like, I can create this melody, ba ba da do da da. But what should I put there? You don't know. But I'm like, you know what? Screw the words. So I found a way just to, see it as more scatting. Like what you do in jazz and blues. It's all scatting when people are doing blah, 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 blah. You just create something that sounds more real. So I managed also to come up with something that I call Yvonne language. Doesn't matter who doesn't understand. Not even my people from my country don't understand what I'm singing. But it's a song that needs to speak to your soul and your heart. You translate it. The way you listen to the song, just try to imagine what the song is talking to you. It's a song that's supposed to give you good, strong vibes, the way you feel it. If it makes you sad, feel sad. If it makes you excited, feel excited. If it makes you feel emotional, feel emotional, So that's how I managed to come up with such songs. And in this album, in the free soul, there's a song, for example, there's a song called Inner Spirit. It's a number 13, Inner Spirit in this album. Yeah, that's a very last song. For example, it's a song that I made it up myself. I used my own language, imagination language, but I had to give it a very positive understanding, deep meaning for people. I had to make sure that when people are listening to this, they should feel in a certain type of way that it's making them feeling at peace. They should try to imagine or try to meditate, putting themselves in places where, like, for example, they are in the woods. I love nature. They are surrounded by the mountains, the green. They can just hear the birds, hummingbirds. They can hear the wind, the sound of the trees, waves, and everything. Those are the things that you have always to feel when you're surrounded by nature. So this song, when I did this song, I actually had to take myself out, because I walk a lot. I go in the fields, I go in the forest alone. I take long walks, and I take my blanket there. I just go there, then I sit down, I close my eyes. I just let the wind and the nature just try to speak with me, and just take all the energy, the lives that this nature, this nature is alive. I always try to communicate with them. And this is why I got so much motivated and also inspired by, getting this inner spirit. So that's, music is also language, but it's also good. English songs, doesn't matter what you sing, it's really also good, as long as it's meant with love and peace. It's okay. You can make, sometimes I even wish in the future maybe I can just make a whole album without words.
When I think about, inner spirit, or the voice of your spirit, right? It doesn't necessarily have words, and it's hard sometimes, say you're meditating in nature, when you get this feeling, or you get this message, to me, my spirit doesn't necessarily speak to me very specifically in words, but I might get a message of what it is. So it makes so much sense for that song Inner Spirit to not necessarily, I know it has some words, but to not necessarily, to be your own language, or the language of your spirit. And music, music is, I feel like, the universal language. That's the beauty of it, right? Is that we can all get on stage and maybe not speak the same language, but we can all get a jam going.
Exactly.
And know each other almost more than sitting down with somebody and talking to them for 5 hours in that 1 hour of creating music together. But your voice, specifically your voice, is such a unique and powerful instrument.
Thank you.
Yes, you don't simply sing songs. Not that there's anything simple about singing songs, but there's a richness and a depth and a soul. Even when you're singing, and I don't know whether it's the Yvonne's language, or African, or English, scatting, where my soul understands what you're saying.
Sometimes when you hear words, or you get like a certain song or whatever, it can take away from the whole mood of a song when you're like listening to a lot of people like chattering, or if there's a lot of musical lines going on. Sometimes it takes you out of the mood of the song. So I listen to a lot of music from other countries as well, and it's like sometimes I get more from that music, because you're like, I just love this, and I'll be like pumping it, and you don't know what the heck is going on, but it's like that feeling is working. I mean, it's working, and you're like, it just it's more the magic. A lot of times I'm like, I don't need the best musicians. I'm looking for the best magicians. You know what I mean? People are going to bring the magic to that music.
Exactly.
Give it that life,
Yeah. And when you're picking your musicians to play on your albums, Gosh, there's just so much instrumentation. I feel that is in there. Are you generally working with kind of the same band, or is it new on every album? You have four full albums, yeah. Is that,
Yeah. I have 4 albums. I would say the two albums I did with the band, my band from here.
yeah.
You know, the 2 albums I did with my band from here.
From
No, the 3 albums I did with my band from here, and then the very first album I did was from Tanzania. You know, was a long time ago. That was the very first album. It was a time when I was still trying to discover my style, or also I was trying to climb. I would say I was climbing. My career started climbing slowly from there, and back then I always believed that I was a reggae singer, because I loved to play a lot with the reggae, and I've always told myself I want to be a reggae singer. I want to be a reggae singer. If I'm ever going to record like an album, I would definitely love it to be like like reggae album, And that was the time when I had to do my reggae album in Tanzania. The time I moved to Tanzania was in 2011. 2011, I started recording my first solo album, So that's how I started. And then I had to meet some very good musicians in Tanzania. Also happens to, they play live music. They play in different places. Also, they play in different festivals. It's actually a jazz band. They love to play too much jazz there. And then we just hooked up. And then, it's funny, they love to play jazz, but it's true. They love to play some jazz and blues. So when I first met them, I was like, I think for me, for this reggae album, I feel like I can use some of the musicians, not all of them. So I started picking which ones. I'm very selective. I'm always observing which musicians I can be able to work with. And it always has something to do with their energy, their energy, and also with their attitudes, So if I feel like if it's somebody who's very not so complicated to work with, somebody who's very humble, and somebody we're just able to treat each other like friends. Because I'm not a bossy type person. No, I don't like to hey, I hire you, work for me. No. I love to work with people who are able also to tell me, no, don't sing like that. No, you make a mistake there. No. Why don't you do it this way, I'm always enjoying to work with people who are always putting me like in line, come on, also you're a human being, you make mistakes, I'm not perfect. Then I'm like, you're right, okay, then let me do it your way, I love to work with people like that. So I chose the very first person I picked is amazing, unbelievable, is a percussionist. Twaba is one of the best percussionist player, I would say, in Africa. They know him from Tanzania. He's been there in the game for a long time. And also he plays not just percussion, but any African instruments, anything beatable, anything pentatonic sounds. He plays xylophone, balafon, and all these mbira. He can play anything, And for him, he started at the age of he was so super young, because he makes them. He designs this drum, djembe, bongo, he makes them. He's playing with skins and all this kind of stuff. So even the sound, when he's hearing the sound, he's like, it's off or not off. And also what I like about him is that he has his own timings. When he's doing his timings, you are able to tell, to say, this one, wherever you go, people, they're like, who is this guy? Oh, this is really, it's just amazing. I've never heard anybody playing this kind of percussion. Is not like a noisy maker when it comes to playing. And I love people who play decently, but they are able to fit in whatever you are playing. Because there are a lot of people who are playing percussion. They are playing just to play a lot of double timings and noises and whatever. That's not the playing the same like we have like guitars. There are a lot of guitar people who go wild, and for them that's called being professional playing. No, playing has to be on the right timing, has to be on the right key, very in a decent way, and with a feeling, a very, very good feeling. He was able to fit in. He's the first guy the one I said, okay, you, man, I'm telling you, we will go together wherever I'm going to go. I just want you in my band. We play together, you know. And I'm like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. And during this time, I didn't even know that I was going even to end up being here. It was even the first time that I happened also to meet Matthias, who is my husband. Also who was living in Tanzania for 6 years. And he's the one who invited me over to do the album in the studio, you know. We just met at a very silly place where I was playing at a hotel somewhere, you know.
Meet him in the studio? Did you meet Matthias in the studio? Is that where you met?
We met outside, actually. He was coming to a certain place where I was playing, like performing, jamming, because I used to jam with a lot of people, you know, for surviving in Africa, yes. So a friend of his called him to say, hey, come check out this girl. She's singing. She looks like a foreigner, you know. Come and check her out. She's really, really good. Then he came there, rushing, you know, coming. That was the first time I saw him. He came in front of me with his phone making video. I was annoyed for a bit. I don't like to be disturbed. Can you just sit down? You're disturbing me, you know. So he was just coming in front of me with a phone like this. I'm like, oh, please, can you just move? I'm trying to concentrate. I had no idea who he was. And then I had to stop and I told him, look, please, I need to talk to people. You go. We talk later. If you want to talk, we talk later after the show. And then after I performed, then he came, introduced himself. He was like, yeah, I've got a studio. I love the way you sing. I don't know, maybe you would love to come to my studio. And I was very little bit complicated. I don't trust people that easily. So I went like, yeah, coming, I don't think so. Then why I refused, I was like, I don't want to give you my number. Instead, you give me your number. Then I'm going to call you, you know. Then he gave me his business card. And now I had, remember, one of the friends that I have happens to know him, you know. So 1 week passed, I never even called. I destroyed the business card because anyway, in my mind, I'm very judgmental sometimes. I was like, I don't want to, you know, I was thinking of something else like, I don't think I'm ready for any nonsense relationships, whatever. I think it's just one of those guys who are after, you know, I don't want this. So I had to destroy this. And a friend of mine now, she's the one who had to give him my number. Then one day he's just calling, hello. And I'm like, hello, who is this? Yeah, it's me. You didn't call me. 1 week I've been waiting. Why didn't you call me? You have to come. Do you have time? You can come to the studio. I'm in the studio now right now. Oh, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I lost your number, your card. I think the same evening. I don't I lost it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I don't think I can make it. But I know you have to come. He really insisted. I'm like, okay, just show me your directions. Where are you, you know? And you know, in Tanzania, we have the bajaji. You know what you call bajaji? It's like, I don't know how you call them in English, but it's like this small, it's like not a motorbike. It's a small car with 3 wheels. And they're a lot in Bangkok. You know, in Bangkok, they use this, that's the transportation we have.
Has a motor? Has a motor?
Yes, it's like a mini car, you know. Yeah, like in India. You know, I don't know how to call it in English. But in Tanzania, they call it a bajaji. You know the one I'm talking about, yeah? The bajaji. It has 3 wheels, 1 wheel in front and 2 wheels behind. And then I called one. And then I had to give the driver to Matthias because Matthias speaks very good Swahili. Yeah, hey, habari yako. Hey, okay, come to this place. Then this guy, it was my first time getting on a bajaj, and I was laughing the whole way. I swear you can laugh because it's rough.
Yeah.
And the driver was a bit pissed, but at the same time he was laughing. He was like, yeah, like, why are you laughing? You're disturbing me. Are you crazy? You're laughing on your own. And I laughed the whole way because it's really, and it's rough and very, very fast. And I'm like, oh my God, this, because we don't have that in Zambia. We don't have that. Being in Tanzania, it's beautiful because you have so much to see and experience. So I went there. I went to Matthias's house and I found him waiting outside. It's here. Yeah, we're here. okay, come in. And then he just walked me in the studio, and I found out that the studio was really real. So I'm like, okay, so this guy is real. He's not, he's not joking. Okay, so he has a studio. So I'm like, okay, let me just be cool, play it cool. So anyway, when do we start recording? And I was always in a hurry. When do we start recording? Okay, if you want, okay, maybe play me one song. Let's see what song we can start with. And I had my guitar. It's funny because I used to carry all the time my guitar, acoustic guitar. I'm not playing guitar very well. I could only play 2-3 chords. 2 or 3 chords for 10, 20 songs. You know? So I could hear one song, always strumming. Twing, twing, twing. I could play, I remember it's C and D. I loved minors, you know, D minor and E minor, something like this. Always strumming. So the first song I played was I Will Settle For. And then I played Fight Like a Soldier. And it was more like a reggae kind of, and one dancehall. We changed it into like dancehall. And then that's how we ended up, you know, recording. We recorded, and we had also the engineer there. And the songs became, you know, they came out really, really good. So I named this album, it's like is it Kalamatila? Kalamatila, yes. The title of the album is Kalamatila. And I had to put some reggae. Unfortunately, I don't have it here. I wish I could have. It should be somewhere, you know. I don't have the CD right here with me. But that's my very, very first album. It was really reggae. I had some reggae nice songs, though the quality was, it wasn't really like very well because I was just starting, you know, with trying to also build my career. So not every time, for the first time, of course, you always make mistakes. There's always a room for mistakes. Everything can't go perfect. But over the time, the more you keep on playing, the more you keep on improving the sound, and you know what to do better next time, you know, things like that. Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah, thank you. Now I have it. This is
Oh, that's cool. Wait, okay,
you see it, yeah?
This way. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So cool. You're so cool.
Yeah. And the first song, it's the same one. I Will Settle For, and there's a dancehall there. You see, yeah?
Cool, yeah.
That's cool, yeah.
Yeah. So
And
this is a very
I know that's
I was so
available
skinny.
out there in the world too. I'm putting up your website in case anybody wants to find it. You can find it.
Yeah, I was at the beach outside. It was really, really nice. So that's when I happened to work with Twaba, Muhammad Twaba, Omari. Muhammad Twaba is the percussion. Until today, is a guy I've been always working with. But now, unfortunately, he got stuck in Tanzania until now because of the pandemic. And we managed. I'm so proud, I have to say, we couldn't leave him behind. So we had to do whatever we could just to make sure that he's never left behind, you know, because it's so super important to never let people go, especially those people you started building your lives. We went through thick and thin, you know, together, you know, with or without money. We just went through. He became more like a family, you know. We could survive, we could face challenges. And I would say he's a very nice, humble guy. He's a one kind of a guy when you have a gig, for example. And of course, in the beginning, I could take some gigs where I'm not even getting anything. I could perform sometimes for 30 people, you know, 10 people. And he was always there. He was like, no, don't worry. Let's just do a good show. Don't worry about giving me money. Let's just play. Let's just play because we love music. And don't worry, one day, and he's very positive minded. I love people like this. He's always giving you hope. And it's like, just have faith. One day, you don't know the people you're performing for. And it's very, very important that it doesn't matter always when you're performing, don't look at the number. Always care and stay focused. Care on the job. Care for the job. Care about what you're going to do, and just make sure that you do it right. It might be that in the audience there might be maybe 10 or 20 people, whatever. You don't know, maybe there's one important person you're performing for, and that person is the one who's going to change your life, you know. So this is something that happened. I didn't know that I was ever going to meet Matthias. I didn't know who Matthias was. And for me, it was just by luck that somebody was there. Even though I was kicking him out, chasing him away with the phone, I didn't know that he's a person who's going to help me. you know, it was a person who was going to make my dream come true, because I've always wanted to do like a solo album. In my previous life, before I left Zambia, I was always working with bands. Me working for bands, like working in the band. They pay you, sometimes not. You always have to obey. Yes, boss. Yes, boss. You are never satisfied. It was always about doing cover songs. We did a lot of cover songs. Imagine I did Celine Dion songs. I did Whitney Houston songs, Michael Jackson, name it. All these cover songs. Yeah, I used to be really good. I did all these cover songs, by different popular, musicians. It was okay to survive for some time. And I had maintained that even in Tanzania. But I felt like I'm missing something. I have to do something. Even though we did some good stuff that brought me to Europe in 2009. It was the first time when I got to, tour in Europe. We toured like maybe in 8 or 9 countries in Europe for the first time. I didn't even have my solo album. I had to come to Europe because I had to take part in one of these competition. It was also a biggest competition. It's called Music Crossroads. It's from France. So it's an organization that supports young youths. And I was about maybe 18 years old. And what they do, they basically go around Africa in different countries, and they make the countries themselves compete. They pick out the best, and then the winner will participate with the rest of the country in Africa. And then when you take the first prize, then they give you this kind of a tour to do some festivals here. It's a very good organization that empowers young musicians. Up to date, if you look for Music Crossroads, they still exist today. It's still there. And they're very much active. They're always empowering young musicians in Africa. So it's like a project that goes on every year. It's still there. So that's the very first thing that brought me to Europe until we formed the band. As Nyali, I come from a group of Nyali. And then they decided now to give us a tour because we took the first prize. I was the lead singer. We were like three altogether, like 7 group. We came. We were so super young. We toured in Europe. That was the first time to come to Europe and play, perform in different festivals, and then I had to head back. I think from that time, that was when my life started changing. In the same year, I didn't even know. I just never saw myself to be that much good enough to be able to even get like awards and stuff, so forth. So there's what we call Ngoma Awards. It's one of the biggest awards we have in Zambia. In the same 2009, they called me for the award, and I'm like, this is strange. How can they give me this award when I don't have anything like the solo album like I have, and people don't even listen to me on the radios? No, but they only come to watch me live. But there's a lot of people who are observing you. They come to watch you, and I had no idea that there were so powerful people who could also come just to watch you live, and you could actually get an award from that. That's home. And they gave me this Ngoma Award as the best upcoming vocalist in Zambia. I was so young. Even when they were calling out my name to go on stage, like getting my trophy, I have my trophy there. It was like, hey, I had to ask twice, is there another Yvonne Mwale in here? I don't know. I took time to step on stage, I was like, yeah, who is that? I have a namesake, but I don't know who. And then my friends are coming to drag me. I almost peed in my pants, really. I almost peed. It's something that you're not even expecting. Imagine, yeah? You have no idea. I wasn't on that level. No. I don't know. I thought it's not time yet for me. No, why? There are other people who have albums and they've sold their albums. They should be the ones getting the award. I didn't have anything, but I just went there. They took me there. I looked really lost. I'm carrying this trophy, and it's a heavy one. I think they're making it with gold, it has some gold coats, whatever. I have it in the studio, and it's very heavy, and and I'm very skinny because I used to be very, very skinny. I looked really funny when carrying this, and I don't know what to say, and everybody's just looking at me, and my tears started rolling, you know. Then asking me, why are you crying? You're supposed to be happy. I had to be honest. I had to tell everybody. I said, really, I didn't expect this. But what else can I say? Oh, yeah. Matches was a very supportive. This is, you see this one?
Wow! Like a
This
machete.
is heavy, you know? This, yeah. It's very old. It's even written in Goma Awards.
So cool.
Wait, here.
Yeah, there, right there, yeah. Oh, that is so cool.
Can you see?
Yeah, there we go.
Ngoma Awards.
Cool.
Yeah.
Man, you know,
That's
and sometimes it takes time, you know.
Yeah.
To you know, you make more music, you meet more people, and you know, I'm assuming I would like to get a little bit into Matthias and like his influence on you. Was part of you starting to believe in yourself more and more, was part of that, you know, him seeing how much he believed in you and your music?
Yeah. I had started believing in me after I had seen also how much he really believed in me. He was always telling me, you have something, you have no idea. You have something. I'm like, come on, what are you talking about? I'm just a silly girl who comes from a very bad background. I'm just a nobody. I was sleeping. You know, for me, the problem is that I was always living in my past. I seemed not to forget this mind of living outside for 5 years. You know, because I was homeless for 5 years. Not homeless where you have a bed or whatever. I slept outside. I was sleeping on the streets. I slept in benches in the market, everywhere. I walked barefooted for 5 good years. I was only 15. I would say from the age of 12, that was the time when I lost my parents. I lost my parents. We lost so many siblings from our family. I had nowhere to go. I had nobody to take care of me. You know, I became a mother at the age of 16. I raised my son on the streets, homeless with my son. Now he's big. He's 15 years old now. You know, he just turned 15 on the 30th of November. Oh. No, he turned 14. He turned he turned 14. He just turned 14. You know, so everything was crushed. Everything was taken away from me. I never really had this energy of seeing myself becoming something important in the future, because I'm always in my mind, I'm always like, who am I? Every time they looked too much down on me. I've been abused. I've been tortured. I've gone through so much hell. People treated me in a bad way. People poured hot water on me. I got scars on my body, you know. People did a lot of bad things, you know, on me. So this drama, this traumatized, you call it traumatized. I had it for a long time. And somehow another part of me just died. You know, I just never saw myself becoming something, even if I'm singing, but I'm just singing like more for fun or as just for fun. But I didn't know whether I could go that far, you know. So when I saw Matthias, after we recorded the same Kalamatila, and he was like, you know what, Yvonne, I'm going to be your manager. And this time we didn't even have a relationship, nothing. We just had like a friendly relationship, nothing else. I'm going to support you. I'm like, what do you mean? I can see he had all these machines because he did IT, you know, but also he plays with cameras, and he has a music studio. He does all these kind of, you know, things, animations and stuff like that. I was like, I'm going to manage you. Let me do something. Then he started pulling some strings all the way from Tanzania. He started organizing concerts for me, designing posters every day, sitting on the computer, trying to do what he can do, driving to different places. There's a nice place where we have a lot of tourists. in these kind of places was like, your music, I see it more of something that also tourists can like. But also I like it when because I did some traditional songs, it was like, with this reggae, try to combine it with your language. It sounds very good. It's very unique, the way you're singing. That's the only way you can attract tourists, Then I was like, okay, then yeah, let's try it. Believe me, I was in shock the first time I did my own private concert for the first time in my life. It was unbelievable. I was nervous, really nervous, because I didn't know how many people were going to show up. We're not talking about these shows where you have to go already in a bar, there already audience. It's not like a concert, but your own concert. You found this place, this beautiful, nice tourist place. It's called Trinity in Tanzania. It's one of the best places. They do live shows there. People are chilling. They've got a nice bar. They've got also some rooms there, So we promoted this concert. He did this, he made some posters, started doing the promotion to see just how many people were going to come. It was unbelievable because the actual day of the concert, the whole street from outside, they had to call police because it was packed full. There was no space to park. They had to call police because they were getting attacked, they were getting robbed. It's not a very big place, but at least we had more like 600 people. It was more outside. The first time. And the owners were going crazy because they've never had such more people there. There's nowhere to park and people are getting attacked. And it's funny because I had my brother, my real brother. I had to put him there at the entrance there to take some money. He was getting nervous because the drawers that he had there for carrying the money was just dropping, down. He was scared, so he could take the whole thing, go to the room, drop the money on the bed and come, because people started giving tips. Wow. I swear. People started giving tips. They're like, hey, this, we want to watch this one because we know she's really good. Hey, from where do they even know me, But they were watching me from doing this cover song. Sometimes I could get anything. They came to support me on that day. I cried. I had to say it on stage. Like, I didn't expect that I could get this much support from you people. But now I believe that, in life, I think as an artist, it's always important to be humble and be patient. Be patient no matter what. I stopped counting. I stopped looking at the number. I stopped feeling bad. I had all these feelings in me sometimes when I'm watching my friends are performing. Like, look, my friends are making it. They have massive audience coming. They're there. But what about me? But anyway, I had stopped caring. But I just told myself, you know what? I think this is the beginning of your life, your chapter now. This is your show. You're doing your own program. There's no Celine Dion songs, My Heart Will Go On. There's no Whitney Houston. There's no Michael Jackson here. You do your own songs. I was nervous. I was crying with, tears of joy on stage. And I just felt like performing, dancing. From that day, I think that's when my name now in Tanzania, I started now being discovered, being recognized by the media. And one of the biggest hip-hop guy there, Feed Q, is one of their guys, is one of the best hip-hop guy. That's how he also discovered me. They followed us there. They even knew where Manchester studio was. I was like, hey, Yvonne, come, I want to do something with you, Then we did a video. Sihitaji Marafiki, that's the song by Feed Q and Yvonne. So I featured in that. So it was a very nice collaboration, where also he had to give me his fans. He's opening up a door for me also to get recognized in East Africa is well known there. So that's how people, they're like, whenever they see me, oh, that's Yvonne from Sihitaji Marafiki with Feed Q, that's Yvonne. So I'm like, oh, wow, that's the journey. The whole journey starts from Tanzania. My career, it became even more better. It started from Tanzania, more better. And now the reason why I had even to get more into this jazz, blues, all these kind of vibes, it was a time when I met Dema Brown and Bobby Rickett. And Bobby Rickett is also one of the best saxophone players. He's from there, from United States. And there was Tony Bunn. Dema Brown is the one who used to work on the keyboard with Sting in the studio. Used to work with Sting. They were composing also with Michael Jackson. He actually passed away. When was it? Like 3 years ago. Yeah, he's very good keyboard. They worked together with Sting there. And these guys, they are the jazz instrument, players. So they were coming for the jazz festival in Tanzania. I didn't know these guys. It was really unbelievable. I never met them. I never heard of them. But they just came for the jazz. And they were supposed just to do like an instrument show. And somebody, them themselves, they were like, is it possible to find maybe a singer? Somebody who's really good, because it's just a show for the instruments, throughout. They were coming through the Alliance Française there, They were organizing this jazz festival with the connections they had there. So somebody recommended me just on the same very day when they had their concert. I was pissed off. Instead of being excited, I was pissed off because I don't do jazz. I said, no. What do you want me to do? Why do you want me to do jazz or blues? The thing is, for me, I never went to school for music. I thought maybe jazz, blues is for people who can read music. I can't read music. I'm a reggae artist. Why should I do blues? I don't know. And then they called me. And already this time, it was later now, when I was even heavily pregnant. I was heavily pregnant when we even already married with Matthias, and I was heavily pregnant when they were calling me. I was so pissed off. You want me to sing jazz? Oh my God, I'm going to faint because it's boring. Oh no, it's not. So they were calling me, Yvonne, just take a deep breath. And Tony Bunn was telling me this, and also Dema Brown was like, just take a deep breath, feel the music, and just start to sing. Don't think about anything. Just start to sing. I'm like, but how am I going to do it? You're going to do it, Yvonne. The show started. Wow. It was the first time that I did some blues. I don't know exactly where all these blues, these blues scales, waves, what was all about scatting. And I started feeling good. They started giving me this vibe. So they were playing a bit of blues and putting some reggae, vibe in it. I had fun on stage. I was like, yes, now we are talking. Now let's perform, I had a very, very wonderful time with these guys. From there, that's how another Yvonne Mwale was born. That's where I'm getting my blues and my jazz. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to change my music from now on. I'm going to have this fusion of a bit of blues, a bit of soul, and jazz and African, this traditional, spiritual Africa. Not just, but I love Africa, spiritual, authentic sounds from Africa. So I just wanted always to come up with something very unique, something that doesn't exist out there. If I decide to do typical African music, the thing is, there are a lot of people in Africa who are doing very, very, very authentic African music. They sound sometimes more similar. I listen to music from Mali. I listen to music from Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, Burkina Faso, or Cameroon or something like this. And it's beautiful. It's very, very beautiful. But I wanted also to come up with something a bit more different. From where I come from, we have a very complicated language. And most people, they feel ashamed to speak my language. I don't understand why, from my country, because they find it to be more tradition. It's not for city people. When you go to the city, capital city of Zambia, it's Lusaka. If you're speaking my language, they find you to be more old-fashioned. They find you to be not too much educated. That's a problem. But for me, I somehow embraced this language. And for me, I think it worked in most of the songs. And I love it. But now people, they're loving it because it sounds good. They're like telling me, oh, you're singing in Sengar. It's very beautiful. How are you doing it? And I'm like, you just have to do it. You just have to do it. Always go for the things that your heart tells you to. And importantly, just believe yourself. no matter how long it might seem like it's taking to get up there. But I'm always having a lot of patience. I'm like, if something doesn't work out, like what we do here when we have all the bookers here, we're now working also with the labels and the booking agents. Sometimes, they do their job to apply for festivals, there. I'm always sitting, I'm like, what, I'm not waiting. And I don't want to be a slave. I don't want to be an artist who's like, they have to tell you what to do. No, because now you have to dress in this way. No, you have to do this kind of, no. I want to have a bit of more freedom. So always, it's important to just be careful with the people we work with and we choose to give powers to. But I've always wanted to give myself a bit of more freedom. We will do our own bookings also if we want, If they don't respond to us, we're always waiting. And I'm always like, something else is going to work out. Always stay positive. And it works out. And you're more happy, more free.
Yeah, it always does. And I think that, that comes across in your music. I think that's what I love about your music is that, you allow your journey of life to speak to you and to communicate with you, and you respond and you create music in response to that journey. And we're very much the same where, people have said to us, well, you go from playing reggae to country, and then there's a folk song and you're back to reggae roots. And for me, and I know that can be sort of sometimes detrimental to a music career because people want to, they want to put you in one, they want to put you in one genre. But I've always had the thought that like the song should dictate what it's gonna be, the style. So we're still following that, and I feel like you very much, follow that direction. What does the song want to do, and it might go many directions, in one song. So I just want to, for a moment, just before we kind of get off here, just play the end part of so. Besides Yvonne Mwale being a phenomenal artist in her own right,
I got mine.
Nice.
I got mine.
Yes.
Before you leave, I want to tell you, I love Free. There's some songs here I really love.
Okay, cool.
I love Free and Blessings. I love. You guys are just insane because there's so many songs here. There's Open Roads. Yesterday we were listening. It was really, really, really crazy because it's beautiful. You made something very, very, very good. And I love it, I love it so much. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so I was, it was before we started recording, and I just kind of got like the download, like, we stayed in touch just online, we'd randomly comment on each other's Facebook posts, and I was watching you when you started doing your vocal loop thing, and I was getting ready to get a looper, so we were in contact with that kind of stuff. And as I was sort of finishing writing the song Peaceful Days, I just kept hearing your voice like at the end, because you had given us one of your CDs in Jamaica that I jammed on a lot, and yeah, so I just reached out to you at that time, and it was like, it might be far in the future, but would you want to collaborate? And you were like, yeah. So we were recording, and then of course this whole like crazy lockdown thing happened, and not that you were going to come to America and record with us anyways, but it was nice. We sent you track, you sent it back to us, we kept going back and forth. So I just want to play the very ending of this track, and you just did such a good job, like, bringing the vibe. Exactly. Close your eyes and sing for peace. Close your eyes and sing for peace. Close your eyes and sing for peace. Yes.
Yeah, peaceful days.
Peaceful
Yeah.
days.
And
You know, it's
I
just
find you so much, you guys, you're like amazing because we were just talking about the country music. Yesterday we had a conversation with Mattis because we were always listening to the CD also in the car when we're driving, just nice listen. And there's one song where you have I don't know the name. I think it's which one is it? It has some like a country song, you know.
probably open road, maybe open road.
Open
or-
road, yeah, something.
It's
Yes,
pretty.
yes.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, this is unbelievable because she's combining this a bit of reggae. There's a bit of funky in the same album. You know what I mean? You have a bit of funkiness, and then there's a bit of country and some reggae vibes there. What a combination! It's something very unique, and it sounds perfect. That's your style there, and you know, and nobody should take that away from you because that's unique. It's really beautiful. It's really that's what makes it more unique. You know, you need to come up with your own style, and for you that's yours because you have already your beautiful horsey. Also you have a smoky, this beautiful nice voice, beautiful tone of a voice that can fit with reggae, with country. You know, it all fits and it brings everything joyful. So it's really amazing. Yeah.
Give thanks. Give thanks.
Yeah.
Give thanks. Oh.
Yeah.
Well, can we leave off just by you sharing with one thing that you are doing to kind of stay joyful and upful, you know, in these times where we're not out there maybe doing shows.
Mhm.
You know, maybe just one thing to share on how everybody can just kind of keep the joy flowing through in these times.
Yeah. I spend most of the times in my studio. I have a studio in the house, just in the next room downstairs here. I just do some looper, you know, sessions. Just I'm not really professional when it comes to looping and stuff like that, but I just love to play with my vocals since I love to do harmonies, and I just love to use to see what I can come up with. And also what I love to do, it's this one.
Oh,
Oh,
him.
cool.
Yeah, so awesome.
You know what this is, yeah? So for
Yeah.
me, just to keep my spirit a bit more high, a bit more motivated, especially during this time of pandemic, I just find time to just get in the studio. Since now we don't have concerts. For this year, it's really sad. We had to cancel like 22 shows.
Yeah.
I was supposed to have a tour for the new album Free Soul.
Yes.
And we had really good shows for this year, but everything is messed up from the same Free Soul. It brought us some good number of shows outside the country, all over the world also, you know. So I'm sad that this didn't happen, but hey, we can't change it, you know. It doesn't mean that life has to stop, you know, moving. So we just use the time to just be more creative and do things with hands. I love creating things also with the hands. Also knitting a little bit. I love to do that.
Cool.
Yeah, play games also with my kids. But also go outside, take walks, if not being in the studio, just playing with my kids. And what else do? I do hair. I braid. You know, I make some nice cornrows. Yes. I wish I could do more often. Like I'm really good. Really, I'm good at that. I'm really professional when it comes to do cornrows. And I do it mostly on my daughter. You know, I make some different braids. I play. She's like my Barbie doll, you know. She's like my Barbie doll. So I just use most of the times do her hair. We're watching a movie, do her hair, change different style. And that's what I basically do, you know, just to stay positive. Yeah. Watch movies with my family if we have nothing to do. Like Friday, Saturday, we have to sit all together. We make some popcorn. It's movie time, you know. Yeah. And also maybe you find that maybe the kids, they're upstairs also, they want to have a sleepover. They call it sleepover. They're upstairs also watching something with I have two kids, you know. I have two kids. My son and Erica, she's only 8, you know. Sometimes they watch movies upstairs. And then also we're downstairs, we make some popcorns, we watch some movies. Though I watch creepy things, I love to watch dark movies.
Me too.
I love watching horror movies. Oh.
I'm like,
I don't know. It's too much. Yeah.
Give me a murder in the first 5 minutes, or else it's boring.
Yeah. Too much gun. So, okay, I love if it means I'm watching a gun movie. It has to be a very, very good story. But I love this horror, ghost, haunted, spirit. Yeah, especially horror movies where there are kids involved. That's very scary. Yeah, like Babadook. Is it Babadook?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I watched
those are
that movie
very
like 3 times. I watched it like 3 times. It's so good. Yeah, so good.
very. I love movies like that. It moves you. You know, like movies like that for me, they're something. And you find that sometimes when everybody's sleeping in the house, they go upstairs. Oh, the lights are off. I'm in the living room. The lights are off, and I'm watching creepy. You're alone in there. I would go to bed. Maybe I find myself going to bed at 3 sometimes. You know, if I'm not careful, if I start watching, because I don't know. I know some people don't love to watch movies, but I'm so obsessed with movies.
Yeah.
I watch movie every single day. If I'm not doing music there, if I run out of ideas, I just go movie. You know, that's what I do. Yeah.
Cool.
That is beautiful.
Yeah.
That is beautiful.
You want me to play something?
Yeah.
Well, it's not really good, but it's just something I do just to pass time. Can you hear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a
This
joy.
is what I love to do.
Yeah. What a joy. I'm feeling so uplifted from our conversation today, and I feel like, it's important for us to come together when we can, the best way we all can, to, recharge each other, but then also that vibrates out throughout the world too, so I feel like doing
Exactly.
a conversation like this where we can connect and grow, also now an audience of people can see this and they get that experience too, it's just really, really a pleasure being with you today, for sure. Yeah. So.
It is my really pleasure, like really it's a blessing. I would call it a blessing for you guys to have me on your program. It's a very beautiful program. It's really good, and keep it like this, giving positive. I think this is also what people need right now. There's corona outside. They need to be entertained. You need to give them something more real. You're bringing something beautiful, from the kitchen. Talking of food, who doesn't love food? I love food. And you guys are cooking some beautiful, beautiful, foods. I don't know how you're doing it, but you are genius. And I can't wait to come that side and eat what you guys are making. He's a good chef, really.
Yeah.
So colorful, so green and really. I don't know how you do it, but I would love to learn, from you guys. Yeah.
It always starts with the heart, you always cook from here, it just into it, put it into it.
Nice blessings, really. Yeah.
Give thanks so much for spending this time, and again, we look forward to the time where we can be together in a kitchen cooking, and anytime you do hopefully you can come to the States and do some concerts before too soon. Make sure you reach out, and we'd love for you to be our guest at any point in time. So
Yeah, great. Thank you so much.
So the new album is Free Soul, and we have your website right up there where people can find out more about you.
Exactly.
Check out Yvonne Mwale on her Facebook. She does lots of really cool live streams and YouTube, all the good stuff. But this is the website's got all the information on there. But we thank you so much for spending time and for being on that track and for giving your heart and soul and for everything that you do to just bring.
It's my pleasure. Really, respect. It's all one love and one heart. We speak the same language of love, and it's beautiful. So why not? Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh.
And big ups, much love to your whole family over there. Just stay up full and healthy and
And you should come to Germany one day, one time also. I hope next year it's gonna be fine. You should come also here. If also we happen to be organizing some festivals, because also Matthias organizes some festivals, you're welcome to come. Also, we can invite you. It would be nice also to have you. You can stay with us here. Would be great. Yeah, cool.
Thanks.
Mhm.
All right. Well, thanks for spending time and be well until we meet again.
Thank you so much. One
Right.
love.
Time. Love,
Yeah,
love.
bo.
Bless.
Yeah, bo.
Bless.
All right. Oh, what a blessing to have that beautiful goddess spirit on here. So we thank you for joining us for another episode of Dig In, and we'll be back. So keep your eyes open, and we're starting on Monday a contest to win your very own crystal grid. If you haven't gotten the crystal grid yet, there's 2 things you have to do to start to enter into the contest. The first thing is to join the Facebook HannaH's Field Family private group. So reach out to us, HannaH's Field Family. You just look it up. And then the second thing is to join the street team. I'll put some links up and do those 2 things. And then look out, starting tomorrow, we're going to do a 7-day contest starting on 12/7, which is December 7th tomorrow. Notice the 7s. We have the 7 chakras on the crystal grid, and then 7 on the outside, the 4 elements of the elements, and then 3 prayers.
Yeah.
So 7 pointed fairy star in the middle, and 12/7.
Yeah.
And 7 days of the contest.
Yeah.
So check it out. You can win your own chakra fairy star crystal grid with the crystal vision, which Yvonne Mwale is on that track, Peaceful Days, along with our good friend Christina Holmes. We hope to get her on pretty soon. But much love. Thanks for sharing time with us on this day.
Yeah. That's it. Bless up yourselves, everybody.
Right.
We'll see you soon.
Stay positive out there and keep eating good food. We love you guys.